Good evening, thank you for coming today. It's great to be here in Dublin ahead of an exciting game against Ireland. It's a strong England team against the number one ranked side in the world. Regarding the ongoing disciplinary matter with Owen Farrell, unfortunately, given the disruption to his week, the intrusion in terms of his preparation, I made a decision to pull him out of the team that he would otherwise have led this weekend. The situation is one I find really disappointing. We thought we had reached a conclusion of this matter on Tuesday. It had an impact in terms of the disruption for this week. Now it's going to be ongoing into next test week. The situation with the England team and Owen in particular seems to be amplified. The commentary around it seems to move from a issue around the tackle to personal attacks on the character of the man, which I think is just wrong. I think Owen has handled himself through this process as we all in a really respectful manner. We've respected the process and thought we'd reached the conclusion of it. We will continue to respect the process and the decision that is reached. And now we're looking forward to this game on Saturday. Courtney and I welcome your questions.
Steve, can you just elaborate a bit on the plan as you had it, maybe sort of going into the month that Owen would have played in this? Was there a sort of plan a little while out that was already sort of set in stone?
Yep. So Owen was due to play in this game on Saturday. We're very fortunate to have other leaders such as Courtney, who's also led the team before and will lead the team on Saturday. Owen was due to play, but then having such a disrupted preparation, missing elements through Monday, missing all of Tuesday's training, meant I had to take him from the 23. Again, we're really fortunate that we have players of the calibre of George Ford and Marcus Smith that are in the 23 this week.
And you spoke there about what you feel are personal attacks. Is there a bit of anger within your England camp about this? And do you sort of have any idea what it's all about in terms of?
You would have to ask the people who are writing the commentary around this. I think this has moved from a tackle and a split second decision to commentary around the character, which I think is wrong. And I think he's a teammate of the players, he's a member of our squad, he's the captain of our squad, and we all feel for him. We all feel when one of our group is receiving end of such personal attacks. We all feel it.
Steve, have you seen it affect him? He's obviously quite a strong character, but have you seen him be affected by this week?
Owen's conducted himself brilliantly throughout the week.
And is there a particular reason why you think, I don't know, maybe the commentary is different with Owen? His father Andy obviously spoke about it earlier and said that he finds it disgusting, some of the stuff that's said about his boy, and obviously he's a top coach himself, but why particularly do you think this happens with Owen?
You'll have to ask the people who write the stuff.
Steve, is part of the frustration that the no one scope to go into next week might be.
Well, it is going into next week.
But you may have to.
So it is going into next week. The final 2 weeks, test weeks of our Rugby World Cup preparation, they're going to be disrupted by this matter. We respected the process fully. One of the most senior and experienced panels that deals with these matters dealt with it on Tuesday, went through the full hearing procedure and came to an answer and a verdict that we thought was the conclusion. And now the situation is that another panel is being convened to try and find some holes in what was done on Tuesday. What we're going to do, again, is conduct ourselves in a manner that respects the process, and we will continue to do that, and in the meantime we're going to focus upon playing against Ireland, the number one ranked side in the world, on Saturday.
Steve, do you wonder this last week, you think, what have I done in my past life? You know, the 2 weeks, you know, this is so much of preparation time, and you're having to deal with almost like mini crises before the event's even started. What I don't know. Is there anything that you can draw from this? From you're dealing with these types of situations before the tournament started, and you can test the resilience of your group, and also look at Plan B if you had a Plan B in mind, because there could have been injuries or or red cards during the tournament. You're at least before it's even started having to look at a Plan B, I guess.
So the first thing I'll say is that, and I think I've said this every time I've sat here talking to you, is we're always aware that there would be situations within games, within trainings, that we need to adapt. The second thing I'll say is that when I look at the way these guys with Courtney playing such a huge role dealt with the situation last week of going to 12 players and then finding a way to win the game, it tells me there's an incredible strength developing within this group. We know we've got some way to go. There's a short time together, try and develop it, but I'm seeing growth, and I'm seeing a tough, resilient group of men. And again, it's another test this Saturday, and it's one we're looking forward to. I've no doubt that every one of our experiences is going to make us stronger.
Steve, have you had to sort of go into contingency mode a couple of times already, and you sort of touched on it already, but having Courtney to captain as captain and George with his experience, are you pretty happy with your, if you like, that Plan B?
And Ellis. And I said all along that I think that we've got great leadership team amongst the players. I also think we've got incredible depth in many of our positions, and I think you see that this weekend, and I'm looking forward to this team going on Saturday. And it's a good team. We've got a fantastic captain leading us out there, and I'm looking forward to testing ourselves.
Do you think they'll be playing with an extra edge because of what's gone on?
Every game for England's special. Every game.
Steve, I know it's a bit of a way away, but obviously because next week will be disrupted, is the potential for the same things happen again, that Owen might not be, even if he's available, if he's free to play, he might not have done enough of the preparation.
I'm not going to hypothesise to what next week is. We don't yet have the dates. We know it's next week sometime. We don't have it yet. So I'll deal with the facts we have. So right now, I know we're playing against Ireland on Saturday, and that's what we're aiming for.
With Owen and all his experience, obviously ideally this wouldn't have happened at all, but he's, I assume, someone who's at least well, capable of dealing with, I suppose, anything that's thrown at.
I think we've got a resilient group of men in this squad. I think there's a strength, and I think I've seen that strength come through, and I've seen it develop. And again, we're going to need that strength on Saturday in a game that's going to test us, but it's a game we're looking forward to.
And I bet you can't wait to get to the actual match against the world number one team in the world, where the week when, in different circumstances, we'd have all been talking about what a massive occasion.
I'm looking forward to seeing the man next to me lead our team onto the pitch, and I think that we've put in foundations in place in our game, and I'm looking forward to seeing us take a next step. I've said things were on track, building towards where we need to be on September the 9th. I think they are. I think the team's worked hard again this week. We've had some challenging training again, and I think the players have really progressed through it.
Steve, can I ask you about what you want to see from George at 10 on Saturday? Obviously, you know very well from Leicester days. What bits can he help put together with the attack, particularly?
Yeah. Well, I think that as ever with my players, I want them to bring their incredible strengths onto the pitch. He's got an incredible tactical brain, and I think that he thinks the game, he thinks really clearly through the game, and has a fantastic skill set, both with his distribution skills and with his kicking. And I'm looking forward to seeing that partnership with Ben at 9, and then the link with Manu at 12. It's great to see Manu back out. I said to you that he'd had a slight tweak, so it's delayed when he played his first game. I'm looking to see Manu there. So, and these are players with Ben, George and Manu who played a lot of rugby together.
Steve, is it, I don't know whether it's right or not, but is it the first time George has played 10 with Manu at 12 for England anyway? And what would, is there anything that George can do in particular to bring out the best in Manu, and what you're looking for him to do?
Yeah, well, I think the first to say is the plan was always that George was going to start one of the games at 10. Now, it's brilliant to see Manu back on the pitch. What I see with Manu right now is someone, he had a slight disruption to his training just for a couple of weeks, which has delayed him getting onto the pitch in a match. But what I see is someone who's looking sharp, looking powerful, and he's raring to go. And I've seen him in training this week. I've seen us, I feel, take another step forward in our training, and that combination of players, 9, 10, 12, has played and spent a lot of time together through a number of years, not just in the international arena but club rugby as well.
And with this fixture 4 years ago was very impactful, I guess, for both sides. It seemed to take the wind out of Ireland's sails a little bit, and probably, I don't know, fast track where England were at that point. Do you have that same sense about this fixture?
Yeah, I think that the contexts are quite different right now. I think if you look at that, I see this Ireland team has progressed steadily through Joe Smith and then to Andy over the number of years. It's had a progression of players that build a lot of games together, and over the last few years they played a lot of rugby together, both in the international and provincial level. So I see that context of the Irish team. Now we're in a different context. What I will say is that I think we've got a good level of experience on the pitch this weekend. We've played in a lot of big games, and this is another important step towards us being ready for September 9th, and that is where our aim is.
It must always be a matter of wanting to captain England. Are there some mixed feelings though, because obviously the circumstances where Owen would have played, and I suppose you always want him to be there?
I mean, you kind of just go with the flow at this stage. Anything can happen, and it has done throughout my career. And unfortunately, I've had to, jump in replace of Owen before. So, as much as I'd rather have him here, I'm very much prepared to go out there, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna do my best to enjoy myself, to be honest.
Is Owen the kind of guy, as a group of players, you need to get around, or does he kind of not need that?
No, he's a very resilient bloke. He's a great player and a great skipper, and obviously we were very happy to see Tuesday's meeting go well for him, and it's obviously disappointing now to hear what's going on, but as I said, it is what it is. So we got a job to do on a Saturday, and as I said, we're very excited to get out there and have the opportunity to play some rugby.
And for you personally, to put a couple of matches back to back will be big on it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, after last season, getting a couple of games together is a step in the right direction.
Steve, can I just ask you how difficult it is to prepare a team to play an international game and in a major international tournament when there seems to be such inconsistency about what is and isn't a yellow or red card?
And I understand the question, and I think you'll also understand that I'm not going to go into the specifics in that debate of it or no. I think what I will say is I'm disappointed that this is going into another week next week. It's going to impact another week. We thought that it was concluded on Tuesday with an experienced panel that heard it and made a decision, and now another panel has been put together next week to deal with this. That's the major disappointment, and that I think we have. That's going to be another disruption for our test week next week.
Steve, do you see Anthony Watson as a winger or a fullback, or somebody who does both very well?
Does both very well, and I think having that versatility and having the ability to play both allows us a lot of flexibility. I had the great pleasure of signing to Leicester last season and working with him there for a good period, having worked with him in my prior time here with England, and I see a guy who has incredible talent, has a way of finding the try line and finishing scores. He's great in the air, has a fantastic kicking game as well, and I think he's another player who's progressed through this camp, and he feels like I was debating whether he'd be involved last week or whether I'd wait to this week, and I think he's looking really ready to go.
It was interesting to see Elliot Daly coming in to midfield quite as much as he did last Saturday. Do you see those 11, 14, 15 positions as amongst the most fluid on the pitch? Are you looking for them to roam around a little?
Without question, Elliot, to go and find the ball that he has, getting him on the ball is really important. I think he has that incredible strength in his game, and then with the ability of Freddie to find, having played plenty of time on the wing as well, and his ability in the air to move himself to the edge, I think he's also a great strength. Anthony, he'll do well wherever he decides to present himself, whether it's off 9, inside 10, outside 10, on the edge. Anthony will find space.
Courtney, can I ask one of you as well? If England are to improve in one big area, in your mind, what is that area?
Well, I mean, we've obviously not performed as well as we'd like to have performed in recent days, and there's a lot of stuff for us to work on. Obviously, the attack's a big one for us. We're working very hard on it. We want to go out there and score tries. We want to play good rugby because we've got the talent in the team. So that's a big area for us, obviously. But set piece and general kind of forward work is going to be huge for us as well going forward, because we want to be able to pack this field again. So plenty to work on. But we're definitely getting in the right direction.
And you say the pack that wants to be fit, if you look at that back five, kind of whatever the makeup of it is, there's a lot of threats there, aren't there? Kind of all set piece, both set pieces and then also around the field. Yeah, definitely. And it's just a matter of getting to know each other and trying to bring out the best in each other, playing to each other's strengths, and we're working hard on it again. So we get another opportunity this weekend.
I'll go in and build upon that, and Corney's comments there. These players are incredibly high quality, and this should have been a building process for a number of years to get to where we want to be as a pack. And I care deeply about forward play in working with these guys. And what we haven't had that opportunity, but what we've done is squeezing every minute out of training we can, and that's immense credit to Courtney and the other forwards who are working as hard as they possibly can to step forward.